Good morning, grade 5. How are you today? I hope you are all doing well and Ramadan Kareem. Today we will revise the past passive voice, and I think we have studied this before. So in this video we will revise some steps to form a passive voice sentence in the simple past form verb. So let me start. Now first, basically in English, in any sentence, we should have the subject, verb and object. And sometimes the subject is not that much important, so that's why we need to use the passive voice. So the passive voice is used to show interest in the person or the object that experiences an action rather than the person or the object that performs the action, meaning the object in the sentence is much more important than the subject. So that's why we need to use the passive voice. Now here we have some examples. The house was built in 1654. So the important part in the sentence is building the house, not who did it. Then the road is being repaired. The most important part here is preparing the road, not who did it. Now we have different types of the passive voice, but today we will focus on the past passive voice. But here we have some examples for different kinds of types or different types of the passive form. So let me read them for you, and then I will clarify for you how to form a passive voice sentence in the past form. So number one, I noticed that a window had been left open. Every year thousands of people are killed on our roads. All the cookies have been eaten. My car has been stolen. So these sentences are all in the passive voice. And by the way, at the end of the sentence you can write by and add the subject, write it at the beginning. But because I told you that sometimes the subject is not that much important, so no need to add by. Now, in the past form, okay, actually this is the most or the easiest form of tenses, because you don't have to add so many things. Now in the past form, you know that in the verbs or in the past form you have to add ed to the verbs in the regular verbs, and if the verbs are irregular we don't have to add ed. Now in the affirmative form or in the affirmative sentence, you have to remove the subject from the last part of the sentence and put it at the first part of the sentence. So remove it from the last part and put it in the first part. Then after writing the object you have to add was or were, and it depends if the object is singular or a plural, you have to choose one of them. And after was or were you have to add the past participle verb, which is what we called verb 3. In case you have a question, you have to start with was or were and then add the object, then the past participle. And in the affirmative sentence sometimes you can write by. Now here we have some examples. The teacher corrected the mistakes. The teacher is the subject, corrected is the past verb, the mistakes is the object. So I wrote the mistakes at the beginning. The mistakes, since the mistakes is plural, so I added were, then corrected by the teacher. Then, did the little boy sell all the candy bars? This is the active question. In the passive form is gonna be were all the candy bars sold by the little boy? Now, in case we have not in the sentence, Lauren didn't eat any apples. In the passive form, no apples were eaten by Lauren. Here, if you can notice, didn't is deleted. But sometimes we have to use not. So we add it to was or were. So don't try did or didn't. Just add not to was or were. Now, what about the pronouns? Do we need to change them? Of course, we need to change them. Here we have some examples. I is gonna be me, we, us, you, he, him, she, her, it, and they, them. Meaning by her, by him, by them, by me. Now, you have a homework for today. I want you to rewrite these sentences. All the verbs here are in the simple past verb, so I want you to rewrite them using the past form of verbs, okay, by using the passive form of verb. So rewrite these sentences using the past passive voice in a notebook. That's it for today. Thank you and see you next time. Ramadan Kareem.